Here is a question. Read it carefully and think about the answer. Let us solve it step by step. Let us begin solving this step by step. In polar protic solvents, nucleophilicity of halide ions follows the order IBr-ClF. This is because polar protic solvents stabilize smaller, more charged-dense ions more effectively through hydrogen bonding, solvation. F is the smallest and most heavily solvated, making it the poorest nucleophile. I is the largest and least solvated, making it the best nucleophile. Therefore, the stated order IBr-ClF is actually the correct order for nucleophilicity in polar protic solvents. Hence, statement 1 is true. Moving on to the next step. Statement 2 claims that due to the bigger size of I, it is less solvated in polar protic solvent. This is actually the opposite of the truth. Larger ions like I are indeed less solvated, less strongly hydrogen bonded compared to smaller ions like F, but this less solvation of I means I retains more of its nucleophilic character and is therefore a better nucleophile, not a worse one. More critically, statement 2 as written implies that less solvation of I would make it less nucleophilic, which contradicts the actual chemistry. Furthermore, statement 2 says I is less solvated due to bigger size, while it is true that bigger ions are less solvated per unit charge. This fact actually makes I more nucleophilic, not less. The statement's reasoning is internally inconsistent with the order given in statement 1. Actually, re-examining statement 2 says I is less solvated due to bigger size. This factual claim is true. Larger ions are less solvated. However, if I is less solvated, it should be more nucleophilic, meaning it cannot support the order in statement 1, which shows I as least nucleophilic. Wait, statement 1 states IBr-ClF, meaning F is most nucleophilic. This is actually wrong for polar protic solvents. The correct order is IBr-ClF. So statement 1 is false. Moving on to the next step. The correct nucleophilicity order in polar protic solvents is IBr-ClF. I is the best nucleophile. Statement 1 gives the reverse order, IBr-ClF, which is the order for polar aprotic solvents or the order of basicity charge density. Therefore, statement 1 is false. Statement 2 states that I is less solvated due to bigger size. This is true. Larger ions have lower charge density and are less effectively solvated by polar protic solvents via hydrogen bonding. And for the final step, statement 1 is false, statement 2 is true. This corresponds to option D. Why other options fail? A and B require statement 1 to be true, but it is false. C requires statement 2 to be false, but it is true. Therefore, the correct answer is D. Therefore, the correct answer is option D.